The U.S. offers a reward of $10 million for those who provide information about 5 sponsors of Hamas or help block the source of money for this force. On January 5, the U.S. State Department offered a reward of up to $10 million to find information about 5 people, including Abdelbasit Hamza Elhassan Khair, Amer Kamal Sharif Alshawa, Ahmed Sadu Jahleb, Walid Mustafa Jadallah and Ahmad'Abd Al-Dayim Nasrallah. These are the people accused by the U.S. of funding the Hamas armed forces. U.S. documents show that Abdelbasit Hamza Elhassan Khair, also known as Hamza, in Sudan, is the manager of many investment companies for Hamas and has transferred nearly $20 million to this group. The U.S. said this person has ties to Sudanese President Omar Bashir and Islamic armed groups in Sudan. 3 people, including Amer Kamal Sharif Alshawa, Ahmed Sadu Jahleb and Walid Mustafa Jadallah, were accused by the U.S. of running part of Hamas's investment network in Turkey. The remaining person on the list, named Nasrallah, is said to have close ties with Iranian individuals and organizations and has transferred tens of millions of dollars to Hamas, including the group's armed wing. In October, the U.S. State Department said Nasrallah was in Qatar. The U.S. State Department announced that a reward of up to $10 million will be awarded to anyone who provides information about revenue sources, donors and companies and organizations that provide finance to Hamas. The U.S. previously imposed 4 rounds of sanctions on Hamas after this force attacked Israeli territory in October 2023, killing 1,200 people. Israel responded with a large-scale offensive against the Gaza Strip, leaving at least 22,600 people dead and turning much of the Strip into rubble. Where does Hamas get its money from? Hamas receives financial support from a number of countries that support it, and this force also earns a large amount of money through taxing goods. Hamas's large-scale raid campaign against Israeli territory last weekend caused many people to question why a force that is considered irregular and operates in an area banned by Israel and Egypt. A counterattack can attack a country famous for its superior weapons and intelligence capabilities. According to observers, behind Hamas's persistent attacks on Israel, which have occurred since 2007, is a rich financial capacity coming from many sources such as sponsorship money, humanitarian aid or taxes on foreign countries. With goods entering Gaza, Iran provides up to $100 million annually to support Palestinian militant groups, primarily Hamas, according to a 2020 U.S. government report. In 2019, an Israeli television network reported that Iran had agreed to sharply increase monthly payments to Hamas in exchange for intelligence on Tel Aviv's missile capabilities. Accordingly, during a meeting in Tehran between Hamas officials and Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran is said to have expressed its willingness to increase monthly financial support for Hamas to an unprecedented level of $30 million USD per month. Last year, senior Hamas official Ismail Haniyeh admitted that they and Iran were fully cooperating to confront the common enemy, Israel. Ismail said Tehran has spent about $70 million solely on fighting Tel Aviv, including developing missile warehouses and defense infrastructure in Gaza. Many U.S. Republican leaders also expressed skepticism that the U.S.-Iran prisoner exchange agreement, under which the U.S. agreed to disburse $6 billion to Iran in September, contributed to funding Iran's latest attack. Hamas enters Israel. However, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that Iran still cannot spend a single penny of the above $6 billion because the fund has not been unfrozen. Iran is considered Hamas's largest sponsor, but other countries such as Turkey or Qatar have also welcomed top Hamas leaders to visit. However, both denied financing Hamas's military operations. According to an investigation by German media outlet DW in 2021, Qatar transferred $1.8 billion to Hamas. In theory, the support amounts spent by many countries are aimed at paying salaries to officials in the Gaza Strip, serving development work and humanitarian aid. But because Hamas is not transparent about its expenditures, it is difficult to track where the money goes. Besides funding from some governments, a significant amount of money flows to Hamas from Muslim charities, mainly in the Gulf countries. The ultimate use of this money is also unclear. Israel's Shin Bet internal security agency once arrested a Palestinian employee working for a humanitarian program run by the Turkish government on suspicion of transferring money to Hamas in 2017. In 2020, the U.S. discovered a foreign banks based in Istanbul participate in the money transfer network financing Hamas. Since Cairo imposed a blockade on Gaza, Hamas has made money by taxing goods from Egypt that pass through a complex network of tunnels into the area they govern. According to a report from the U.S.-based Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, this network has brought key goods such as food, medicine and cheap gas for electricity production into Gaza, as well as construction materials, cash and weapons. The report also said that after Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi came to power in 2013, Cairo became hostile to Hamas, which is seen as closely linked to its main domestic rival. The Muslim Brotherhood organization, the Egyptian army has closed most of the tunnels that encroached on its territory as it launched a campaign to suppress a branch of the self-proclaimed Islamic State, IS, on the Sinai Peninsula. Egypt only began allowing some commercial goods into Gaza through the Rafah border crossing in 2018, according to CFR. As of 2021, Hamas is said to have collected up to $12 million per month from taxes on Egyptian goods imported into Gaza. A 2021 report by Al Monitor news site cited a well-informed source as saying that the items that bring the highest tax benefits to Hamas are fuel, cigarettes, honey, cooking gas and construction materials. About 4 million packs of cigarettes are brought from Egypt into Gaza every month and Hamas imposes a tax of about $1.54 per pack, meaning $6.2 million will be transferred to Hamas's treasury each month just for this product. In addition, about 9 million liters of fuel per month are also transferred into the Gaza Strip and Hamas imposes a tax of 46 cents per liter. Thus, Hamas's treasury receives $4.16 million monthly from this source. Gaza has a population of about 2.3 million people. Since the blockade by Egypt and Israel, the region's economy depends mainly on foreign aid. There is a view that for many years, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's administration has reduced controls on the flow of money and people across the border to prevent Hamas from joining hands with Fatah, another Palestinian force in the West Bank. Hamas fired thousands of rockets at Israel in the attack on October 7 and has continued to attack in recent days. They have amassed a large arsenal of rockets with increasing range over the years. Israeli intelligence has estimated that Hamas, the Islamic Jihad movement and other Palestinian militant groups possess about 30,000 rockets and mortar shells in Gaza. These rockets lack a guidance system, but Hamas fighters have the ability to improve their accuracy. Hamas is said to be able to make its own rockets by illegally importing parts, taking advantage of water pipes collected from abandoned Israeli settlements or filtering components from unexploded bombs dropped by Tel Aviv. Down area, because Hamas operates in Gaza, it can hide activities such as weapons production in civilian buildings, which Israel does not want to bomb. This is a barrier to Israel's surveillance capabilities. Hamas's creation of social infrastructure and welfare networks in Gaza is also seen as part of a plan to conceal and finance its military operations. Hamas also spends a significant amount of money on the families of gunmen who died or were imprisoned by Israel. According to estimates, the group has 20,000 to 25,000 members, including thousands of well-trained fighters in the Izz al-Din al-Qassam Brigade, Hamas's elite fighting force. Our video ends here. Remember to subscribe so we can meet again in the next video. Goodbye everyone.